The paradox of inadequacy, how trauma shapes our sense of worth. In a world that often equates success with grand achievements, material wealth, or societal recognition, many people grapple with feelings of inadequacy. This sense of not being enough can be particularly acute for those who have lived relatively comfortable lives, free from significant trauma or hardship. Paradoxically, individuals who have endured poverty, addiction, legal troubles, or other adversities often seem to find greater contentment in smaller accomplishments, love more deeply, and live with a freedom that eludes those who feel they have little to show for their easier lives. This article explores the roots of inadequacy, the impact of life experiences on our perception of worth, and why those who have faced hardship may find happiness with less. The weight of inadequacy in easy lives. For those who grow up in stable environments, free from poverty, abuse, or systemic barriers, life can feel like a blank canvas with endless possibilities. Yet this privilege can become a double-edged sword. Without significant obstacles to overcome, some individuals internalize a narrative that their accomplishments are less meaningful. They may look at peers who have climbed out of hardship, overcoming addiction, escaping poverty, or rebuilding after legal troubles, and perceive their own successes as trivial by comparison. This phenomenon often stems from a societal tendency to romanticize the rags-to-riches story or the narrative of the underdog. We celebrate those who triumph over adversity, implicitly suggesting that success without struggle lacks depth. For someone who has lived a life of relative ease, this can foster a sense of inadequacy, as if their achievements, whether a stable job, a loving family, or personal growth, are somehow less valid because they weren't forged in the fire of hardship. Social comparison exacerbates this feeling. In an era of social media where curated stories of success and resilience dominate, individuals may feel their lives pale in comparison to those who have overcome. A promotion, a degree, or a comfortable home can feel hollow when measured against someone who rebuilt their life after hitting rock bottom. This comparison can lead to a pervasive sense of worthlessness, as if one's life lacks the gravitas of a hard-won victory, the resilience of hardship. In contrast, those who have faced significant challenges, poverty, addiction, incarceration, or trauma, often develop a different lens through which they view success and happiness. For them, small victories carry immense weight. A stable job, a sober day, or a mended relationship is a triumph, not because it matches society's definition of success, but because it represents a step forward from a place of profound struggle. This perspective is rooted in resilience. Hardship forces individuals to confront their vulnerabilities, adapt, and find meaning in incremental progress. A person who has experienced poverty may find joy in a modest meal, not because they're settling, but because they know the sting of hunger. Someone who has battled addiction might cherish a single day of sobriety as a monumental achievement. These individuals often develop a deep appreciation for the present moment, unburdened by the need to compete with an idealized version of success. Moreover, those who have faced trauma or adversity tend to love more fully and freely. Having experienced loss, betrayal, or isolation, they often value relationships with an intensity that others may take for granted. A kind word, a shared laugh, or a moment of connection can be profoundly fulfilling, as they know how fragile such moments can be. This ability to find contentment in less is not a sign of lowered expectations, but a reflection of a recalibrated sense of what truly matters, the psychology of comparison and contentment. At the heart of this paradox lies the psychology of comparison. Humans are wired to evaluate themselves against others, but the metrics we use are often skewed. For those with minimal trauma, the absence of a dramatic narrative can make their lives feel unremarkable. They may question their worth, asking, "What have I overcome? What makes my story special?" This self-doubt is compounded by a culture that glorifies struggle and undervalues quiet stability. Conversely, those who have faced hardship often measure success against their own past, not others' highlight reels. A 2018 study published in Psychological Science found that individuals who have experienced adversity tend to exhibit greater gratitude and life satisfaction when achieving small goals, as their frame of reference is rooted in personal growth rather than external benchmarks. This internal focus of evaluation allows them to find joy in modest accomplishments and fosters a sense of agency that buffers against feelings of inadequacy. In a world filled with constant comparisons and idealized standards, many find themselves ensnared in feelings of inadequacy. Breaking free from this trap involves a courageous shift towards self-acceptance and redefining what success truly means. This journey begins with the powerful act of reframing one's narrative, recognizing that every individual faces challenges, albeit in different forms. Instead of all or nothing thinking, acknowledge the trials you've encountered, whether they are emotional hurdles, social anxieties, or personal struggles. Every story holds significance, and your journey deserves recognition, regardless of its dramatic flair. Another essential tool on this path to self acceptance is practicing gratitude. Amidst daily stresses and perceived shortcomings, there are small joys waiting to be appreciated. A walk in nature, a deep conversation with a friend, or indulging in a cherished hobby can all illuminate the beauty of the present moment. By shifting focus from life's perceived deficiencies to its abundant offerings, you foster a sense of contentment that diminishes feelings of inadequacy. This gratitude expands your perspective, allowing you to celebrate the simple pleasures that often go unnoticed. Social comparison can be a double-edged sword, often breeding insecurity rather than inspiration. To regain control, it's crucial to limit exposure to idealized representations of others, whether through media or social platforms. Curating your digital environment enables you to redirect attention from external benchmarks back to your personal values and aspirations. Moreover, celebrating incremental wins becomes paramount. Each small achievement, whether mastering a new skill, establishing a comforting routine, or performing an act of kindness, stands as a testament to your progress. Acknowledging these victories reinforces your growth journey, instilling a sense of victory that dispels the cloud of inadequacy. Ultimately, the key to liberation lies in the realization that self-worth is not dictated by hardship or societal accomplishments, but rather by the meaning we derive from our experiences. Those who have weathered storms often find solace in savoring their victories, while those leading stable lives must learn to appreciate their significance. Happiness is a personal decision, rooted in finding joy in the mundane aspects of life, cultivating deep relationships, and embracing the beauty of one's unique journey. By abandoning the need for constant comparison, we unleash the power to discover the freedom of feeling enough. By Scott Young, aka Sin Famous Gamer,